Ted Cruz is running for president, so let's have fun and talk about his wackiest conspiracy theories. So we've told you about Agenda 21 before. He believes this is a United Nations agenda. It's mainly led by George Soros. We'll get to that in a second. And it does many terrible things, include force all of us into hobbit homes. That's from his website, Hobbit Homes. So we will all be living in shires soon, which actually doesn't sound that bad. The shires look lovely in the movies, don't they? Anyway, the houses are a little too small. So how does he explain all this? Well, the general category here is, this is awesome. George Soros leads a global conspiracy to abolish the game of golf. Okay, no, but you have to be a lunatic to believe that, right? So, but this part of the Agenda 21 thing, they're going to put us into shire homes, hobbit homes, and they agreed to do this as part of a world domination plot hatched 20 years ago. And they're going to get rid of paved roads. What kind of a lunatic do you have to be to believe that the United Nations has agreed, and all the governments, including ours, have secretly agreed that we'll be getting rid of paved roads from now on? And, of course, golf courses, right? So who is the mastermind behind this? Soros. So, explanation is the originator of this grand scheme is George Soros, who candidly supports socialism, this is Ted Cruz, and believes that global development must progress through eliminating national sovereignty and private property. Okay, he thinks Soros organized all the world governments, and it's part of a plot to get rid of golf and all private property. George Soros is a billionaire. He's one of the leading capitalists in the world. He does financial speculation. You think he's against private property? That is ridiculous. Here's a guy who spent a tremendous amount of money fighting communism to make sure that the old Soviet Union collapsed. You might disagree with some of his politics now because he's, unlike Ted Cruz, he's not insane, right? So the conservatives hate him. They're like, oh my God, he believes in clean government, right? And all these different things that they don't like about it. But it's one thing to say, I don't agree with George Soros on topic A or topic B. To think he wants to get rid of private property is insanity. And then to add on top of that the shire homes and the paved roads and the golf courses. God, man, this guy's running for president. He's in the middle of the pack. He's got some sort of shot. Okay, because that's conspiracy theory number one. That's a nice doozy to start with. Number two is Islamic law threatens the United States. So he talks about this all the time. The Sharia law is coming. It's coming. Man, Oklahoma's teetering on the edge. If we don't do something right now, the Islamic Caliphate of Tulsa is this close. Okay, hey, come on, dude. Such classic fear-mongering, right? And but some of the conservative base eats this up. Oh yeah, all the Muslims are coming. Oh my God, they're going to take over San Antonio. The ravings of a lunatic mind. All right, I love this one. He says Obama, conspiracy number three. Obama wanted immigration reform to fail so he can campaign on it in 2016. See, Obama boldly proposed immigration reform only to have people like Ted Cruz fight against it and kill it so that he could actually use that to run for the 2016 elections, which he won't be in. Okay. But then, Ted, why did you help him by defeating it? Why weren't you a little bit more clever and help him pass it and be like, ha, now you won't be able to use it in the election you're not running in, but I am. By the way, it's a curious plot because other people who agreed with President Obama on immigration reform and helped him pass it in the Senate were people like Marco Rubio and John McCain. Pretty sure they're not part of a plot to help President Obama with his politics. Okay. Now, this is a doozy. Conspiracy number four is George W. Bush led an assault on Texas sovereignty. That's right. W was too much of a lib, and he was trying to take away sovereignty from the state that he was the governor of. That's probably true. So this is about a case of a Mexican citizen who was on death row in Texas. And at the time George W. Bush was president, he says, hey guys, we got a treaty with Mexico. This treaty is so sacrosanct, even North Korea doesn't violate this treaty, right? And Texas said, no way, man, we're going to execute him on. We don't care if we were supposed to give him rights. We don't give him any rights. North Korea, who get up? Right? So now George Bush was trying to enforce a treaty that we signed, right? You're trying to take away the sovereignty of Texas. Okay. Conspiracy number 5. And this might be my favorite. Soros one is too good, but this will probably come in second, okay? Communists have infiltrated Harvard Law School. What a jackass. Okay, so here was a quote from Ted Cruz on this topic. He explained that when he was there were fewer declared Republicans in the faculty when we were there than communists. There was one Republican, but there were 12 who would say they were Marxists, who believed in communists overthrowing the United States government. Now, that's hilarious because there were no communists. If there was, as I'm about to read you from a Republican, at most there's one, right? Look, I went to kind of a similar law school. I went to Columbia Law School. Yes, there was a lot of liberals. There was also a lot of conservatives. There's no one running around being like, I am a Marxist. Okay, Karl Marx is awesome. Nobody's saying it. Professors, they're not saying that. You're such a weirdo, man. You live in this weird conspiracy-obsessed world where you're like, Soros and the Marxists. So let me give you the quote from a professor at Harvard who is a deep Republican, President Reagan's former Solicitor General, Harvard Law Professor Charles Fried, and he said, I would be surprised if there were any members of the faculty who believed in the communists overthrowing the U.S. government. That's Reagan's Solicitor General. Of course, there's no actual Marxists in the Harvard Law School professors, let alone 12 of them. If you believe the theories of Ted Cruz, I feel terribly sorry for you. This guy is a wacko bird. And unfortunately, he will gather a lot of wacko birds around him. We'll have to see if it's enough to win the Republican primaries. Probably not, but he'll make a run.